Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daitooka, and I'm back with another Season 4 Changes and Impressions video, and today we're going to be doing Heihachi Mishima. Fun fact, I actually picked up Heihachi pretty much at the same time that I started learning Kazuya, so in terms of gameplay level, my Heihachi's always kind of been just under my Kazuya, so he's still, one of my favorite characters to play, and he's received a lot of buffs in this patch here. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool to discuss the changes and as well as his new move in Season 4. On my channel, I upload a whole bunch of Tekken content from tutorials to tournament matches, so I highly recommend you subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Without further ado, let's begin. So first off, we're going to start with a buff to Heihachi's 1+2, which is his 12 frame mid punish. It used to be -12 on block, but they've actually buffed it quite significantly. They've changed it to be only -10. I think reducing the frames on block down to -10 is actually quite significant. There's a big difference, I think, between most characters' 10 frame punishes to their 12 frame punishes if they have one. So for example, if there was against Heihachi himself, -10 will get you around 25 damage usually, or 27 damage, whereas if you were to say use 1+2 against Heihachi and he was going to punish you, he has a few different options to get higher damage out of that situation. So more to that point, I really think that making it -10 just overall makes the move much safer to use, but of course still jab punishable. The second change they've done to this move is actually reducing the recovery time on hit. So on hit, you have a lot more time to actually move forward and continue your offense. I guess by also shortening the recovery time, I guess for people that don't hold back, you have a lot more time to complete a follow-up. That of course isn't guaranteed, but if they don't hold back, you get a free forward too. Overall, some really good buffs for this move. Not a massive change overall, I think would be seen here from Heihachi's gameplay. But I guess his 12 frame punish is a lot more safer now. Only really jab punishable. I don't think I'd be throwing out this move too much even with this change. But I guess he could now and not get punished too badly for it. Now this is a change I don't really quite see the point of, but they've actually changed his rage art to have the opponent much closer on block with the rage art itself. So if you see here, oh wait, that's not the input. I keep on forgetting how to do rage art sometimes. So as you can see there, Alisa was very close on block, and I think that's usually what happens anyway with rage arts, but for whatever reason, they've decided to reduce the pushback. Again, I wasn't really under the impression that there was any real pushback, or that it was hard to actually block punish his rage art, but I guess this change is going to make it easier to punish now. Honestly, don't really know with this one, but yeah, it's a change that they've made here. One of the biggest changes in Season 4 to Heihachi, this is one of the biggest buffs in my opinion, is a change to his iconic forward 4. But as we all know, forward 4 is known for being quite, a really good pressure tool. It's already quite oppressive before Season 4. It leaves, of course, the opponent +4 on block. Sorry, you're left +4 on block. And if your opponent is crouching, specific to Heihachi's forward 4, your opponent is in -13 status, so -13 crouching status. So you get a guaranteed 13 frame or 13 or 12 frame follow-up there. So you could do something like that, or you can just do this for big damage. They've actually gone ahead and decreased the pushback on block. Now your opponent can literally go nowhere. At some ranges, it was actually already previously possible to get out of some of the follow-ups, especially at tip range. I remember there was possible to get out of some follow-ups such as down forward 1. However, now as you can see, the range and the pushback on block now is pretty much non-existent now. Your opponent's never going to be getting out of this. If your opponent was to never hold back or never try and backdash out of this, they'd be stuck there forever. I strongly think that this is going to greatly improve his pressure game, and of course Heihachi is known for having some of the best mids in the game. And I think this patch is really continuing that theme. There's a lot of big buffs here for the old man. But nevertheless, I'm going to very much enjoy using this move now when I play Heihachi. Now, they've also made a change to his Raijin 1 stance. So the move itself is a high, so it's not going to catch any high crushing moves anytime soon. However, they have increased the lower range of this particular attack. So it's this move here. It is a launcher on hit, and as you can see, it is homing. However, it might have an easier time catching opponents going for a move that can sometimes at least evade hides. This is just a very minor buff here in my opinion. His Raijin 2, Raijin 2 in this stance has also seen an increased lower range of the attack. And I think this change was done to mainly make the Raijin 2-1 combo ender more consistent. Increasing the lower range is definitely the way to do so if you wanted to make this more consistent, because beforehand at some characters and at some ranges it would actually whiff. So for a combo like this, where previously it might have whiffed before, it's pretty much never going to do so again. Overall, I think this is a decent buff for Heihachi here, and you can't really go wrong with increasing combo consistency. I think that's a very fair change across the board with any character, so this is a very good change for Heihachi. It's a good one to see. One of Heihachi's most annoying moves, in my opinion, his down back 2, has also seen some pretty huge buffs here. The move itself is, of course, still launch punishable on block, and I think they've kind of matched its benefits more to suit its punishability. Firstly, they've actually increased the damage points by 2 up to 25, so it pretty much hits as hard as an electric now. Secondly, they've actually increased the frame advantage on hits by 1 frame, so now it's +6 on hits. So good luck trying to interrupt him now after getting hit by down back 2. And they've also reduced the pushback on hit a little bit. So it makes it even harder now to try and get out of any follow-ups on hits, like while standing 4, or anything that Heihachi might do here to try and follow up from his offense there. It's going to be a lot harder to get out of those follow-ups there. Overall, I think these buffs greatly improved down back 2's dangerousness in match. Personally, I don't really think he needed the change too much. It was already quite good at +5 before, but making it +6, I think we can all accept that, considering that it is launch punishable on block. Heihachi does lack safe lows, and I believe that this move is already quite good before. Nevertheless, this move is something you have to be on the lookout for in certain situations, because it can be very dangerous. For example, at the wall, this is going to be a very dangerous move to deal with now, if it wasn't already before. Overall, a really big buff here for Heihachi's down back 2. You gotta be extra careful for this move now. For Season 4, there's been numerous changes to Heihachi's back 3 and the following strings. So the first hit has actually seen a slight increase in speed by 1 frame, as it's now between 14 and 15 frames fast, as opposed to being 14 and 16 frames fast depending on the range. The lower range of back 3 has also been buffed, and these buffs don't make too much sense as they are currently just back 3 by itself. However, these buffs will directly affect his new move, which actually comes off of back 3. So back 3 previously only had back 3-3, which was a natural hit combo. So the new extension is back 3-2. It is a high, as opposed to back 3-3, which is of course a mid. The new move actually has, I think, most utility when it's used as a wall combo, because it is a new high damage wall combo. I did want to quickly mention though, however, that the new wall combo back 3-2, 1+2, only works on male body characters. So I'll take Devil Jin to the wall here. So as you can see there, that is a new high damage combo. So as you can see, it whiffs on smaller body characters, so only uses wall combo on male body characters. I think increasing the speed of back 3 as well as the lower range greatly just improves its consistency as a wall combo. I think beforehand it might have been I guess too slow at certain ranges, and also the lower range wasn't good enough to make it too consistent. So I think those changes were to actually complement the new wall combo that they were going for here. And the final change to back 3 and its extensions is back 3-3. So they've actually delayed the time that the second hit starts by 1 frame. So I guess before it would have been 21 frames from back 3. And I'm thinking this was to try and eliminate a kind of unfuzzyable mix-up. So now you have back 3-2, which is quite quick. You can see it's 20 frames there from back 3. Whereas back 3-3 is slightly slower now, as before they would have been both quite similar in frames, at 21 frames at 20 frames for back 3-2 and back 3-3 respectively. But now they've made it a lot more appropriate by making back 3-3 actually 22 frames. I think this is a really good new move for Heihachi. A lot of characters didn't get amazing new moves in Season 4. I'm looking at you, Shaheen. But Heihachi's got a very good new addition to his toolkit here. A very good change to see for Heihachi. Back 4 is another move that has also been buffed very greatly here. as are now actually counter hit launchers, very similar to Kazuya's back 3. So as you can see, it is the kind of instant screw launcher here. So I guess you can follow up for some kind of combo like that. Of course, it is slower than Kazuya's version. I think Kazuya's is 16 or 17 frames quick. However, it is a mid. So I think, personally, I think it's actually better than Kazuya's back 4. Because it still has a relatively long range. You can still see it is homing. Relatively long range. And I really think that any character that has a relatively fast mid and long range counter hit launcher is a really great tool to have. And for Heihachi especially, this is a very, very strong tool to have here now. So if you manage to catch an opponent that might be sidestepping and going for a button, you can kind of use this move as just almost as a way to, I guess, check them with their sidestepping and buttoning. And so you can get yourself a free counter hit launcher here. Big, big buff here for Heihachi as well. Heihachi's back 1+2 has also been changed in Season 4 with an increased frame advantage on hit. So it used to be +2 on hit. Sorry, that's back 1+2. Back 1+2 used to be +2 on hit. It is now +8 on hit. So now the move is actually very hit confirmable. Back 1+2 by itself is of course still -9, so completely safe. But the 1+2 follow-up is actually very generously hit confirmable now. You have so much time to hit confirm this. If you manage to catch your opponent on hits at the wall, like I was saying, there you go. Pretty much 70 damage with a very easy wall combo there. Overall, I think this change is going to make the move a lot scarier, especially at the wall. I don't think it's too, it's something you can use in the open, of course. Why not? It's completely safe, so you're definitely not losing anything out of this. But if you do actually catch your opponent now with at least the first hit, you have a lot of time to hit confirm now. Following on from my last point about having excellent mids, they've actually given another big buff to another great mid of his, which is OTGF. But now they've given essentially much more reward for having this execution in Season 4 now by having it have a fully crouching status. So as you could see there, I'll slow it down in post, but you could see there it has a true crouching status now in its startup. This wasn't something that it previously had before. He was definitely in a standing status. And even previously, Heihachi, even though he was in that standing status, it was almost like a somewhat pseudo high evading move with some evasion frames, especially under things like jabs. Of course, this move can only really be accessed from standing, but you know, I think this change makes what was already a great move even stronger. I don't really see this get used too much. It kind of gets used once in a blue moon by Heihachi players. I think mainly just because the consistency that is needed to perform this in a real match can be a bit hard to kind of come by when you're in that kind of in the moment match. At least for me, I'm a lot more incentivized to use it now that it actually truly crushes highs. Again, another big buff here for Heihachi's mids. Heihachi's Hell Sweep mid extension has also seen some minor buffs, I would say. It used to be -16, so the extension I'm talking about is this one here. So this one here, it used to be -16, but they've actually changed it to -14 now. So not many characters can really launch you for this now as a result, and they've actually slightly increased the hit frames from -5 to -3. So you can see it is -14 there. I'll try and give it some space. So it is -3 there on hit. Personally, I don't think this option out of Hell Sweep is even too great. There's still a lot of room for your opponent to get out of whatever follow-up that you're going for there. Or if you're just going to try and intimidate your opponent and get some mind games out of his Hell Sweep, I guess this slightly buffs your game here. Finally, we've seen a very, very decent buff here to Heihachi's while standing punishment game with a change to his while standing 3 1+2. This was his new move back in Season 3, and it gives Heihachi an easy mode block stun low punisher for something like a Snake Edge or a Hell Sweep. And previously it was pretty hard to combo off. You had to have a very tight timing Hell Sweep CD 4-4. They've removed the need for this now, so they actually did this by changing the opponent's status on hit. As you can see there, it's very similar to something like a crumple stun. I consider this a really big buff for his punishment game. I'm still not really used to using the move. That's how little I used him in Season 3. However, I think it'll make Heihachi a lot more accessible to perhaps lower experience players looking to try him out. they can use a move like this now without having to rely on a crouch cancel electric. I don't think he needed this change, quite personally speaking. I know Heihachi mains were definitely, like, after some time you get used to the tight timing that you needed a CD44 to pick up from previously, but now with this new animation, it just kind of makes it easy mode. Personally, if I was more of a Heihachi main, I think, like, of course it makes it easier for quality of life purposes, I guess, but at the same time, it just makes what is already a very strong character even stronger now. Perfect Heihachi round. Considering nearly every change in Season 4 was a buff for Heihachi, I really think he continues to be an extremely strong character. Definitely not top tier, but a very strong character here, even in Season 4. I think a lot of the changes to his mids make them even scarier than they were before. Notably, I think his changes to forward 4, well, down back 2 of course is a low, but I think those changes were pretty strong. And even his new move as the new wall combo, I think these 3 changes will make the biggest changes, the biggest increase and I guess buff to his overall gameplay. But let me know what you guys think about Heihachi in Season 4 now. What do you think about his changes? Please leave a comment below. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you found it useful and that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like below. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. Thanks.